Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So I finally received the ultimate flagship smartphone from Samsung, the Note 20 Ultra 5G. So let's get started with its full review. As always, everything is time coded for your ease to browse around various topics. If it's your first time on my channel, please consider subscribing as I do regular videos for various smartphones like this one, smartwatch reviews, tech tutorials and much more. You'll find a dedicated playlist for Samsung tech videos, be sure to check it out. And if you want, you can support this channel by becoming a member at a small monthly charge with all the perks that I will offer. Click this join button to check out all the perks of becoming a member. Also check out some cool merch under the store tab and check out as well as subscribe to my second YouTube channel for mobile friendly short video content. So today I have the pinnacle of flagship smartphone by Samsung, the Note 20 Ultra 5G. I'm also waiting for the delivery of my regular Note 20, which is Mystic Green. So stay tuned by subscribing as I don't want you to miss out on them. So in today's video, I'll unbox it, talk about its specs, features including the S Pen and the camera, as well as my final say. By the way, the entire audio that you hear is recorded solely from the Note 20 Ultra, so let me know what do you think about it. So let's start with the price. The Note 20 Ultra is the most expensive phone among the Samsung's lineup of the phones, minus the foldable as they have their own price category. So without any discounts, this Note 20 Ultra 128GB version that I have with me will cost a whopping 1,558 Canadian dollar plus taxes, which varies depending on the province you're located in. There's also a 512GB version which will cost a bit more, but Note 20 Ultra has expandable memory, so it will be cheaper to get a micro SD card just like I did. I have a 512GB memory card, but this phone supports up to 1TB. Check out the link in the description of this video for any discounts on this phone. With the price aside, let's unbox it. This time around, I wasn't satisfied with the unboxing experience. Let me show you why. It came in a box like this one. There are few details at the bottom, packaging content as well as some regulatory information at the back. Let's go ahead and open this box up. It seems like the weight is not evenly distributed and the box lid doesn't smoothly open with one hand. But it sure does with two hands. Moving on, under the lid, as always, you'll find some paperwork and the SIM ejection tool. This time around, they have provided only one user manual or quick start guide, which is okay for me as most of the time we don't even read through all this paperwork. So here's the marvelous phone itself, which at the first impression feels massive, but it does not feel too heavy despite of it being gigantic. At the back there is the enhanced triple camera setup, more to it later during the video. At the top there is the SIM and the memory card tray and a microphone. At the very bottom you'll find a microphone, the USB Type-C charging port and the speaker grill. The classic S Pen is on the left hand side versus the right hand side from the previous iterations. I really don't mind the pen being on the left hand side, more to it later during the video. I like the Mystic bronze color which is carried over to the S Pen. The S Pen as always has a very nice satisfying click. Samsung has definitely revived the S Pen, more to it in the specs later on during the video. Moving down further in the box, you will find the super fast charger, that is 25-watt charging brick. This time around, Samsung hasn't provided any extra S Pen tips or other accessories except the USB Type-C to Type-C charging cable. I'm really glad for this as this time around Apple has ditched the charging brick with their iPhone 12 lineup. Now here is one thing that sort of ruined my unboxing experience, as Samsung could have glued the content holder cardboard with the box versus leaving it like this. I think if they glued it with the box, the unboxing experience would justify the price point as well as still be environmental friendly, as this certainly doesn't look good from inside. Now let me insert the 512GB of memory card in the SIM tray. Now on the SIM tray, there is a rubber gasket to prevent the water damage. Now, for majority of folks out there, the built-in 128 gig of memory should be more than sufficient, but since I'm a YouTuber, I already have this 512 gigabyte micro SD card, almost 75% full from my previous daily driver. Well, let's just go ahead and peel off the plastic at the back of the phone. I really appreciate this matte finished mystic bronze glass back. It certainly is not a fingerprint magnet. The stainless steel metallic frame also feels premium. This time around, Samsung has used the latest Corning Gorilla Glass Victus both on the front and the back. Apparently, the make and the feel of this phone does justify the price point. They have kindly added a screen protector on the front glass, which is cool. I think every smartphone manufacturer should do that. Now let's quickly have a look around and talk about its specs. So the phone itself is gigantic. Pretty much there is no way that I can use it single-handedly because of the 6.9-inch screen real estate. However, Samsung offers the one-handed mode on all their devices with enormous screen real estate, which you can find in the settings by searching for one-handed mode. Turning it on allows you the ability of making the screen easily manageable by one hand, which is cool. Now physically, the buttons have shifted from left hand side to the right hand side. So you get a volume rocker with a power key, which also activates Bixby on long press. Now on the bottom, the S Pen has also switched its sides from right to left, which for me does not really matter, as like me, if you are holding the phone with your left hand and using your right hand to interact, then it actually will work quite well. I think they have shifted sides of the S Pen because of the huge camera bump at the back, which leaves no room for the S Pen internal component, so logistically it does make sense. When you hold the phone in your left hand, it does make it easy for me to reach the power button, but I find it hard to reach the volume rocker. But the cool part is I can rest my index finger under the camera bump, which will give you a nice strong grip to your Note 20 Ultra. However, if you were to hold the phone in your right hand, it will be easy for you to reach the physical button, including the volume rocker, but the index finger is not holding the camera bump, and the phone overall does not feel quite secure in my hand. So here's my take: if your hands are smaller than mine, you will have a heck of a time reaching at the buttons and the corner of the screen. Also, you may find it hard to have a firm grip, making your phone prone to fall. So definitely a good idea to invest in a case. I have linked some full body screen protective case in the video description, be sure to check it out. Speaking of screen, the Note 20 Ultra has a curved edge screen on both sides, which frankly I'm not a big fan of it, as sometimes when I'm holding the phone like this in my left hand, the palm accidentally touches the screen. There is a hole punch cutout for the selfie camera, which I find 100% better than the dual right-handed hole punch cutout on my Galaxy S10, which I did find quite intrusive while video playback, but with this single cutout that is centered, the video playback is not interrupted in my opinion. However, when you're holding the phone in the landscape mode for media consumption, I find the phone quite ergonomic, as your index finger rests under the camera bump and you can use that finger to reach the volume rocker. Same implies for gaming too. Lastly, at the back there is a huge triple camera bump with the LED flashlight and the laser autofocus sensor. The top one is a 12 megapixel ultra wide, middle one is 108 megapixel wide angle, and the bottom one is 12 megapixel telephoto periscope zoom camera. There is a 10 megapixel selfie shooter in the front. Now you can pause the video at any point and read through all the detailed spec list on this side, where you'll find organized information from its processor, memory, display, battery size, and camera details, as I find it redundant to point out, especially when it's better to read. But in a nutshell, the processor is the top-of-the-line Snapdragon 865 Plus in North America with octa-core processing, a whopping 12 GB of RAM, expandable storage up to 1 TB on top of the 128 GB built-in storage, All the bells and whistles like 5G, Bluetooth 5.0, Wi-Fi 6 with a very bright and vibrant display with 120Hz refresh rate at full HD resolution, which I think is hard to show you on the YouTube videos, but take my words, you will notice it right away, especially if you are coming from an older phone without the higher refresh rate screen. A stronger Gorilla Glass Victus front and back with a stainless steel frame, and despite of this humongous size, it only weighs 208 grams. So this phone indeed is a top of the line flagship smartphone that money can buy in 2020 period. Now let's talk about the S Pen, which differentiates the Note lineup from rest of the phones, as there are significant improvements with the S Pen versus the previous iteration. I think there is no way I can cover all the features of this S Pen in this video, so I will just briefly overview the latest feature. Like the S Pen now is Bluetooth enabled, so you can use it like a remote control. I use it to flick the images in the gallery, control volume. In the camera app, you can use it to switch from selfie to back camera, take a picture, zoom in and zoom out. It's very helpful with web browsing with all the features like screen write, text highlight, etc. You can also get this quick launch option like create a note, view all notes, smart select, screen write, live message, AR doodle, translate, pen up, and you can even add more and customize it as well. All these features are very self-explanatory, but let me show you the pressure sensitivity of this S Pen, which is awesome for graphic designer. The feature list of this S Pen is too long for this video, so comment down below if you want me to make a full video about it. With that said, let's touch base on the camera and wrap this video up with my final say. The camera is the main selling feature of this Note 20 Ultra along with the S Pen. They have finally refined the camera from the previous iteration S20 Ultra, which had the Space 100x zoom, which frankly I would prefer this Note 20's periscope zoom over that. As you can see with the 5x optical zoom, the image is not that washed out. But anything over 5x zoom, I personally would never use as the image starts getting noisy. But having an optical 5x periscope zoom camera with image stabilization does indeed help where needed. Okay, so moving on, the other cool feature is the single take, where you just press the button and the phone will do the job to get the best shot, including a short video, which is really cool, as you don't need to be a pro photographer, as your phone will do all the work for you. Another distinctive feature is the video mode, which now has the 8K video recording at 24 frames per second. You can also take a high resolution still photo while recording 8K video. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend you to use the 8K video recording as the file size will be humongous and the stabilization will not be that great. But it's really useful if you want a crisp video with a ton of details. Like if you are a YouTuber, you can use this 8K mode for steady filming, where you can zoom in the footage post-production for enhanced details. Next distinctive feature is the ability to film ultra high definition at 60 frames per second, and the laser autofocus is really sharp, giving you an instant background blur. This indeed is a very good feature to have. However, I still think that the LiDAR sensor on the iPhone 12 Pro Max will do a better job than the laser autofocus, as you can still see that it's hard for this camera to focus on something tiny like the S Pen, versus with the LiDAR sensor, the phone will know the precise location of the S Pen in space for the camera sensor to focus on it instantly. But overall, the laser autofocus certainly makes focusing more redefined. Next distinctive feature is the Pro Video mode, where you can find this Omni microphone setting where you get options like all around sound, front sound capturing, rear sound capturing, and even a USB microphone, or you can use your earbuds live for crystal clear audio recording. not to mention other pro features like iOS, aperture, white balance, etc. Lastly, the super slow motion at 960 frames per second, but with that the resolution will go down to 720, but it's certainly good to have. With all that said, the camera in my opinion is certainly redefined. It's not like they just bumped up the megapixel from 12 to 108 from the previous Note, but you will notice the difference right away, and the huge camera bump is certainly justified with all these features. But I think these cell phone cameras have came a long way that you don't need to have a DSLR camera for taking awesome daily life images. Let's wrap this video up with my final say. Let's start by answering the main question: should you upgrade to Note 20 from the previous S10 Plus or the Note 10 lineup? I will say it narrows down to your personal needs. If you are a regular user and don't really care about all the camera improvements and you are really happy with your current S Pen from your Note 10 along with the screen real estate and the refresh rate, then you don't need to upgrade. But if you are a tech savvy like me and use your camera and phone like me for image and video editing for my Instagram, which by the way you should follow me on, then this phone is definitely worth to upgrade. I came from my regular daily driver S10 Plus and I literally feel the difference in a good way and feels like a worth investment. I'm waiting on my Note 20, so make sure you subscribe as the comparison video will be live in few weeks. So let me know in the comments down below your current daily driver and your thoughts on upgrading. With that said, I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then please give this video a thumbs up. It really means a lot. Also follow me on my other social media network for early preview to upcoming videos and free giveaways. Links are in the description of all my videos. Thanks so much for watching and take care. I'll catch you guys in the next one.